Hello and welcome to the September 19th through the 26th reading. I'm using the Viator Somniorum deck. I'm also going to be using the Gothmancy deck. And let's see what we have going on this week. In the past position, we have falling. This means that it's important for us to have trust and trust fall into the universe. So if things have not been going your way and you feel frustration, that's pretty normal right now. But it's just reminding you to trust the universe. If you have a higher power, it's asking you trust in that higher power, and things will begin to work out. But this is in the past position, so this is a form of timeline. So what happened in the past is what's setting the present and the future. So as you begin your journey of trust falling into the universe and putting in the hard work that it takes to get to your goals, you begin to become more empowered. So we have the falling card, work, and flying. The falling card is about putting your trust into the universe. Work, when you have work dreams, they're usually repetitive. So this card is usually like work out of obligation, but it shows you the cycles, like constantly worrying, right? Constantly working. So we're trusting and we're going about our daily work, right? We're still working, we're on these cycles, and it's telling us that it may feel like, what are we doing? But I'm putting the trust in, but it's telling us that over time, it's empowering us. It's strengthening us, and it's allowing us to fly above the situation and observe from a higher perspective what is going on. So as we were doing that, we just had to wait, and we may still be waiting to see the results of our efforts, right? It's like we put all this hard work in, if you're waiting for like a type of payoff, it's like, well, it's not quite coming yet. And this is that trust, right? That divine timing. When I see these two cards falling and give it time, it's that everything is happening in divine timing, and for us to trust in that. And at the core, the driver of the reading is animal spirits, which is telling me that the spirit world is rooting for us, right? So this would be a really good time to be aware of your free will, because there is a scale of polarities, and you can call it, yin and yang, solar, lunar, light, darkness. There's this scale, and depending with your free will, what you choose puts you, within the range of that scale. And as we do that, know that we have animal spirits watching over us, and I do believe we got animal spirits last week as well. So we're going to pay attention to any animals that we get in this spread to give us insight. I like to look at the animal for spiritual meaning, and it tells you to take on those qualities. So right after that, we got shame. This is 3 times in a row. There's these elements of shame that keep coming in, and what happens is when an act happens that makes us feel shameful, when we're ashamed of ourselves or something that's happened, it kind of, in our mind, like a thought, will plant itself like a sword within us. And so what we have to do is make peace with what happened, pull that sword out, and then replace it with an empowering thought, like in the flying card, which is about empowerment. So we have to be mindful that as we do all this work, we're taking our shame and we're turning it into empowerment. The abstract is to look at the bigger picture, which is what we have going on here. You're flying above everything. You're looking at the bigger picture. You know, what is the end goal? Like, what is the result that you want to see? If you don't know what it looks like, imagine what it feels like. So if it's, you know, fulfillment, you being happy, you connecting with others, it's really asking you, you know, to look at the bigger picture and reassess your goals, right? What is it that you're wanting? And then we have the other worlds coming in, which is really interesting. I enjoy the other world card because it's either, to me, it's like world building, it's expansion, you know, growing beyond oneself, and then also tapping into other worlds, or other worlds being an influence on what we are doing in this plane of existence. The next we have is illusion, but it's in reverse. So we start breaking past illusion at this point, which is a good thing. So that is the energetic read by using the Dream Deck as a foundation. So let's go ahead and use the Goth deck and see what we get. Okay, so I like to take the tarot cards and then I like to relate them to the foundation. Okay. Page of Pentacles, trust falling. And this, I have a group of people. So this is a group of people getting together who are embarking on a new project, right? So this is usually the card of the student. It's about finding something that you love, that you get really excited about, and deciding to study more on the subject, to pursue it, right? It's like having this fresh new pentacle and then getting on the stages of what does it take for it to mature to get the end goal. In this one, it's like there's a lot of world building that's going on because you see other planets. So it's like these group of people come together to create this kind of new world, right? So this is a good time to plan projects with others. Getting a good group of people together that are like-minded or that work really well together will create a lot of success. So a lot of individuals are going on a journey with others right now. Yeah, so work with Seven of Wands. You know, this is like you're fighting a battle. There's a lot of competition. In this deck, Seven of Wands is about, you know, feeling judgments from others, right? And I do believe this came up last week as well. You know, it's like this witch is someone who's eccentric, a midwife, a healer, an herbalist, and other people are like, oh, you're a bad person, but they're like, no, I'm here to help others, right? I'm here to serve the greater good. So it's how we kind of misjudge people who are different, right? And so you might feel like there's a lot of judgment, there's a lot of competition, there's a lot of stress. It might be in work situations because the work card came up and is below it. It could be towards the work that you're working on that you feel like there's competition, there's judgment, you know, there's a lot of pressure. And so this is setting the stage in the past for what is going to happen in the present. And then Ace of Swords is like new ideas, like cutting through, clarity, vision. The empowerment is that as this energy was going on, it basically like created like a eureka moment, where the thought is like, okay, I know what I want to do now. I have the idea, I have the plan, let's do this. So this is the past scenario that's setting the stage for the present. Nine of Cups, give it time. It's telling you you're going to get that emotional fulfillment. And in this deck, it's like you have the emotional fulfillment, you're smug, your dream has come true, but you get to share it with other people. In the original tarot, it's one person who's smug who has all the cups for themselves. In this deck, it's like a collective. Like, well, the things that we do help the collective is the idea behind the Gothmancy deck. It's an alchemy-based deck, but it's very collective minded. So it's that, you know, hey, when we get success, we share that with others, right? We take others with us. And at the heart and soul, it's like animal spirit is like behind this like Nine of Pentacles energy. And this is like someone who's self-sufficient, someone who's in their own power. A lot of people will say it's the single person's card, where somebody's like, you know, I can do this, I've got this, I don't need anyone else's help. You know, and they're guided by their intellect and the spiritual world. They're very grounded in that, and their garden thrives, right? So this is somebody who's very okay with being, they're okay with being alone, and it's kind of like you know your finances, you know your material successes, like you're in charge of them, and it's that this spirit world is on your side about this. And there are two birds. So there's a bird here and a bird here, so be mindful of that. So in the animal spirits card, the bird showed up, and the Nine of Pentacles, a bird showed up. And we have a bird in this card. So I would look to spiritual meaning of birds. And we also have the lion and the bull as well. So, I mean, we have the zodiac signs, so keep that in mind as well. So it might ask you to be paying attention to the zodiac right now, to astrology. Astrology is going to play out in this reading. So shame, like we have a lot of shame. There's a lot of, you know, suffering and shame that we've been holding on to. And it's telling us that the Wheel of Fortune is cycling this out, and it's putting everything in our favor. So don't let this shame bog you down. We still need to process it. You might be cultural collective shame too. The energy from that could really be like weighing things down, so that's something to be mindful of. We have another bird here. We have a raven. I would look to the meaning of birds. So far we've had a falcon and two ravens. This is a Temperance card. It's about balancing polarities, balancing opposites. We have that solar and lunar energy coming in. We have fire and water. You know, you can call it darkness and light. So these things are playing out again, and we're asked to create balance and harmony between the two. And it's an art form. Temperance is an art form, right? We're mindful of what we're doing. We're purifying the waters. We're keeping the energy moving. We're mastering ourselves. Like, this has a lot to do with self-mastery. King of Pentacles and other worlds. For those of you that are spiritual, you can tap into the spirit world and ask for this material success. King of Pentacles is someone who's like, this is my kingdom, and everything under it flourishes. He's really good with his coin. This energy is very good with their coin. And you can see, like, there's a garden flourishing, the insects are flourishing. There's some self-sacrifice that's involved, right? There was a lot of hard work. They can make something out of nothing, right? So all of their hard work, which we see from the past, the hard work we're putting in, is going to start paying off. So if you've been working hard, just know that energetically it's going to work in your favor. And then we have this Seven of Cups, breaking past illusion. And I feel like Seven of Cups has a lot of illusion in this card. It's a lot of different choices, right? Some are good choices and some are bad. So, you know, if you have one goal, like we keep seeing this pentacle popping up, if you have this goal, you have to keep your eye on the prize. So when you have other options, your energy gets dispersed. You don't know which one to select, and then it's harder to manifest. So it's really about, like, keep your eye on the prize. I know there's other options coming in. There's different things that could or could not work. But ask yourself, you know, where does this road lead? What does this road lead? Where do I think this road leads? and try to imagine what that outcome is. Base it in reality. So this is also a card about, yeah, you may have a lot of fantasies. Are they grounded in reality? Do you have the steps in reality to make your dreams come true? Or are they just going to continue to be dreams, right? So break past the illusion, make your dreams a reality, take the steps and do the work that it's going to take to make it be so. And what I would like to do, and I won't take too much of your time, this is the new deck. And I just want to pull a card on each one of these cards. So we're doing the testing for the new deck, which is why it's so rough, but this is how the dream deck was first actualized. And I like to hold the cards. I like to feel them, see how they move and how they dance together. So some of these cards are a little rough, I'm gonna warn you, but the love and the energy and the intent is in there. And that is the most important part. All right, so interesting. Group of people here, group of people here. This is collective consciousness. So Page of Pentacles, we're tapping into that collective consciousness. And like I said, all three of these decks are focused on collective work, the work for the greater good. The idea is, yes, we are all individuals, but we come together with the common cause to achieve our goals, right? And that's, pretty much just clarifying what this is saying. Evolution. So yeah, we're working really hard. We may feel overwhelmed. We're exhausted. We're tired from this fight, right? But it's evolution. It's the next evolution of who we are. There's also a time of uncertainty, and in uncertainty, and especially with evolution, it's like, what trait is there that's beneficial at the time that prospers? It has nothing to do with what is better. It's just what is advantageous at that moment in time. So as you're working, the message is really interesting. It's as you're working, it's got kind of like an entrepreneur aspect to it that's saying, really look to what is going to be useful a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Like, you're going to set yourself ahead of the trend with your work, and it's going to bring you success. Sanctuary. This was about protecting your energy, finding a cave, like a womb, right? Where we're in this kind of form of darkness, where we're gestating and we're processing. And so we have this realization, but it's because we put ourselves in this sacred cave-like energy. And it empowers us. So if you need to get empowered, make your house a sanctuary, and it will be really positive for you. It'll help with your ideas. It'll help protect your energy. It'll solidify your energetic field. It's really good to create a sanctuary where you can heal, where you can brainstorm, where you can process, and where you can thrive. So give it time to get this emotional fulfillment. It's saying that there's an interference, and these are polarities clashing. There's an interference for this fulfillment because two opposites are warring with each other energetically, which has been going on since the beginning of time. This is nothing new. But something about that clash of two opposites is really delaying this collective fulfillment. So there needs to be an integration, is what that tells me. We need to get along with each other more. And you can see these polarities here too, right? Stewards. So this is about being a steward of the earth. So there's these animal spirits coming in, this individual care that we're going to focus on making our garden grow to help each other at the end of the day. But it's saying we're stewards. We are stewards of this planet. So whatever message is coming in, there's a lot, it's very heavy about how are we going to take care of this planet? How are we nurturing it? Our decisions, the spirit world's watching us. What decisions are we going to make? Yeah, we can thrive materially. We can thrive in these ways, right? But we also need to give back, and it seems like test, but it's a test on your stewardship. So when you make these decisions in love, in life, in business, keep the planet in mind and ask yourself, how am I being a steward to this planet? The more of a steward-like role that you take, and the more that you invest in the planet, this can be stocks too. The more you invest in the planet's future, the more successful you are going to be. The great balance. Yeah, so this Wheel of Fortune is due to this like balance. And like I said, they're polarities, right? And there's everything in the middle. There's these opposites, and then there's everything in between the scales. And our free will determines where we land in the scale, right? So the great balance is a universal thing. Like this is a universal idea of balance. So the Wheel of Fortune is turning in our favor in this great balance. And that's a positive thing. So this is a power outside of ourselves. Yeah. And the Wheel of Fortune is about power that's bigger than us, right? The powers that are outside of our realm. And that's pretty much what this great balance is. It's like life in the universe is balancing itself out, right? And then we have rebuild. So as we temper and we're balancing these extremes, right? These opposites. And this is like the bigger scheme. Abstract are like pulling ideas and things from the ether that don't exist here yet, right? It's like bringing things from the other side and willing them into reality, right? That's like true magic. And a lot of what we're going to do in the future is like people pulling these ideas and messages from this other place in the spirit world and making these things that are going to be useful and helpful for the collective. And it will bring you success. It's just there's an art form that's involved as we do this, right? We got to make sure we're listening to our spirits as we do, and we rebuild. And this is either that we're rebuilding the earth, our planet, or we are rebuilding everything to make it better in general. And we have other worlds, the King of Pentacles and Traveler of Dreams. So this is tapping into Traveler of Dreams and other worlds. Like this is doing a lot of lucid dreaming, a lot of dream work. You can do meditation that can get you in a zone where you can tap into these animal spirit messages, which are coming in really strong this week. So if you can meditate and use that to your benefit, I highly recommend doing so, especially if you're building your kingdom, your domain, right? And this is a really loving energy. Like there's also like a mentorship energy to this too, a patron energy as well. But what I would highly recommend is using your dreams to guide you, to get you there. And we have source. So this is divine, the monad, the universal source. So 7 of Cups, there's a lot of illusion, a lot of options. We break out of illusion, and the way we do that is we tap into source. The more tapped into source we are, the better we are protected from outcomes we don't want. It's going to put us back on our divine path. Reconnect with source. Try to make your actions through source, your will through source, which is like pure love, wholeness, connection. It's not this separation, right? It's the integration of the two. It makes everything whole again, and then things start to take off in a positive direction. I hope this reading was helpful. I will be doing a weekly reading consistently. I love doing them. I also feel like it shows how all 3 decks work together. So yeah. We're also starting a Kickstarter. I want to launch it in October if it's enough time. I know it's good to start at the beginning of the month, but we might have to start mid-October. But I really like the idea of having a Kickstarter in October because I love the fall. And from what all the readings are saying, the fall is a very prosperous time. There's a lot of good things that are going to happen in the fall, so it would be nice to launch in October. We'll see how that goes. But I hope you enjoyed this reading. And if you have any questions, please message me. Thank you.